Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to the Fringe Festival's poetry session. Today you are experiencing the poetic language of 6 Paumanok poets. They are the representatives in the quality of their writing. The lineup over there. Wow, this is great. They are the representatives in the quality of their writing of a vast number of Paumanok poets. You wouldn't believe the number. And their poetic language is among the best in American poetry today. It is an ultimate satisfying way for expressing feelings about the things you care for and about people. With this, I introduce to you Sybil Bank.
District 6 was a place in South Africa of many races where they mingled together. My parents had a shop there. Malay women, as we called them then, Muslim women, were the main sellers in the store, and her clients and her fans were also many of them Muslims. The shop in District 6, Cape Town, South Africa. Tape measure around her neck, pink cushion strapped on her wrist, my mother measures the bride. Through the window gleams the soul of the street, chattering flower sellers, aromas of samosas, wine of fish horns rise on the breeze. This is the family store where my mother lifts a bolt of scarlet velvet, unfurls it with a thump onto the glass counter, chalks, cuts, fits, pins. There will be 2 outfits, one for the horse-drawn carriage drive to the ceremony of the mosque, the other for the evening feast, curried delicacies, desserts, rich with sweet rose water. At home in the kitchen, the night watches. Pale-faced, tired, mother pleats the bridal gown. White silk crepe steams under the iron. There is a color bar, she said. They call it apartheid. She holds up the silver iron, the black scissor. Silver can do anything, go anywhere. Black and brown often don't go to school. Work for the day when we'll all be hammered silver. I dreamed that I danced at the wedding in the mosque, played in the schoolyard, the bride's sisters.
You're going to hear 4 voices with this one poem. So that's going to be interesting. So I take pleasure in introducing to you very good poets, the original, Ria Meade, and her friends who are going to help us share reading her poem.
I'm Ria, and we're about Spencer. I'm going to start with one poem, and I have 4 friends and family. They're all family to me that are going to help with the rest, and I'll finish with one. Together, there is a stillness within my home. There are 2 of us here. My space is in darkness. We listen, sense, breathe. His self, his furry being, is in light. We listen, sense, breathe. I reach my hand down to stroke it. He sees for both of us.
This poem is called Reflection. My image, pained, confused, certainly frightened, dissolved into the mirror. I stood alone, staring at nothing, paralyzed by the situation. Where had I gone? Where had everybody gone? Had God, in whose image we were made, disappeared into the mirror? How would I find my way? Who I knew to be me was not there. Stumbling over mirror fragments of blue eyes, looks, an inner force, himself perhaps, asserted its vision. I moved towards opportunity.
This first one is about Ria's very first seeing eye dog, Rusty. His name was Rusty, my ticket to ride. His leather bonded us, spirit to spirit, courage to fear, heart to heart. He reintroduced the familiar world that was disguised to me. Through treaded souls and confusing sounds, he guided me. Spirit to spirit, courage to less fear, heart to heart. Feel for that crack, swerve for this limb. Let these cars pass. Spirit to spirit, courage to awaken courage, heart to heart.
I call on the spirit of John Milton. I call on the spirit of John Milton to sit on my porch and unravel the mysteries of his poem on his blindness. My light has also been spent, half my days in this dark world in pride. John, did I understand and did we share these questions? Did you ever feel your worth, feel the light, lose your faith? Your spirit 5 centuries away touched mine with familiar dark troubles. Living within oneself, questioning, I have found that spirits do travel and visit. So John, I thank you for your voice, no matter the challenge to me of phrasing, meter and era. I wonder if the suspected difference between us is you, John, feeling God is outside. I believe that he is within. Same struggle, same darkness. We are all able. We are all worthy. We are all powerful. You have warmed the sea beside me with this sonnet, John.
Ocean swim. Spencer, in harness, flattens down in his frog-like position on the cool tiles of Starbucks. We mistakenly gambled that early morning would avoid the little sun. Spencer's reverie, his own. Mine drifted to the ocean. Surf of Cape Cod, Jones Beach, cherish Montauk. I'm a Long Island girl, love this sea. Reminiscence leads to fantasy. On a Montauk beach, I try to bury the fears I've never overcome. Leave the striped towel, my 5 curious, alert Labradors, and walk into the embrace of the sea, certain their eyes would follow. Salty scents greets, seaweed mingles through fingers, sunshine crowns, the young maid, carefree, sighted, strolls confidently. Then sounds surround and disorient. Gulls scream, children's delight, distance motors. Which way back? Even in fantasy, blindness and panic follow. Still owning this dream, I swim with fear, move forward with spirit. Beneath my left arm surfaces the leathery head and sturdy shell of a turtle, my sea god, his back familiar as a harness handle. Rescue. My totem navigator gifts this adventure with a spin through the waves and a dive through the brine. Behind us, my demons bob like buoys. The sea savior returns me safely to shore, passing the baton to my canine guides, and disappears into her world. I leave this dreamy creation, return to patient Spencer, the coffee shop, the sidewalks outside, so far, so very far from an ocean swim.
In the sun. It was my last painting. Boats, buoys, gulls, bobbing in the harbor, bobbing in the sun. 25 years of images painted on an internal canvas. Completed, in progress, in prison. I have words now. Poetry, prose, declarations, revelations. These bob in the sun. I am painting again. Thank you very much.
Kathleen Donnelly of St. James has given Long Island something monumental. This is the Washington Monument to Long Island poetry and I was trying to find some way to say how important it is, and that was I once climbed the stairs of the Washington Monument as a junior, And it suddenly came back to me, that was the way to describe it. This is what Kathleen Donnelly has given Long Island.
Well, I thank Max for bringing to your attention the book I worked long and hard on, and after several years of collecting poetry, this book represents the photography and poetry of almost 200 people on Long Island. You had to be from Long Island to be in the book. And it was all about nature, Walt Whitman's world, and Paumanok is the word that I learned from Walt Whitman. It means island of the long drawn rest, and it's amazing to think that the Indians could know what the shape of Long Island was, because all they ever did was walk it, or maybe boat around it. And I wrote a poem about, I think maybe you'll all relate to this a little, because when you live someplace, even no matter what it is, well, I suppose there's some places that aren't very nice, but when you live in a place for a long time, like a lifetime, you start to learn its secrets. You start to learn the places where you can go and be quiet or have a good time, or, you know, that other people would never know because they don't live there. So this poem is called Long Island Sound, Nizzo. When you live in a place for a long time, you learn its secrets. At supper time, all along the sound, no one is swimming in the sun's reflection as it sets on green salty water that envelops your body, heals all your wounds, where the sky meets the edge of Earth's curve and becomes one.
Well, you're going to hear more interesting language from Gayl Teller, poet laureate from Nassau County.
About the art of being neighborly. You know, walk through my neighborhood, and there are all different levels of connections with people in your neighborhood. Obviously, they're your close friends, but then there are those people, you know, you sort of know their face, but you don't really know them. And you just want to be neighborly. This is called doing the neighborly two-step, and two is T-O-O, meaning very, doing the neighborly two-step. Busy as we are, there's always time to stop in our shadowy trampings just for a jot, to stop for the fleeting light in a vaguely familiar face, who's from 2, 3, maybe 4 houses, blocks away. Always time to stop to do the neighborly two-step that follows on the fine heels of a "Hi, how are you?" greeting without a pause. Timing is all. It's too hot. It's too raw. It's too dreary. Too dry. Too humid for my curly hair. Gets dark too early. The snow is too dry for panicking. The sun's too weak. The wind too fierce. The thunder way too close to the house. Too rainy to believe. Too hot for words. Just doing the friendly two-step. The neighborhood glue step. The quick fix weather report. For busy folks who hold hidden those murmuring sounds from restless streams, churning in private winds, too underground to bring to light with the people they greet. Can't imagine the sad day of news. Today, there will be no weather. Whatever would we neighbors do without our twos to break the ice between, without breaking from the deep grooves of our own too personal moving? Thank you.
Paula Camacho is one of the leaders of poetry on Long Island. She runs a poetry group at the Brookville Library. It meets monthly. And the other thing for which she is noted, and I want to really mention this, she is the leader of the effort to establish the position of poet laureate of Nassau County. She's been in it from the beginning. And they will be naming the 3rd poet laureate of Nassau County late this spring. In other words, this office has been established. And the interesting thing about it is, it's not being done by a government agency as you think of so much in England. You know, the king, I guess, appointed the board lawyer and so forth. It's the poets themselves, through this committie, that are naming the poet laureate in Nassau County. A reader and a wonderful poet, Paula Camacho.
And then there's the poems that come out of living on Long Island. If you own a home, you know how hard it is to always keep those weeds at bay. So this poem is, why fight it? My next garden will be full of ground ivy, mugwort, yellow nut sage. I will troll neighbors' garbage bins for dandelions, crabgrass, the rare kudzu. One corner of my yard will be designated the lamb's quarters. Even without a boat, I would make sure I had a curly dot. I will place a flag next to the American burnweed, and birds will sing to me for planting the common pokeweed that yields the purple berries they like to eat. Instead of fighting the weeds, I will let them fight themselves. And before the bitter sweet nightshade takes over on the battlefield my backyard will become, I will sipping dandelion wine, munch on the edible young leaves of the lamb's quarters, and let the neighbors think I am as nutty as the yellow nut stage, because both of us will prove very hard to remove.
And now, our final representative of the Paumanok Poets comes to us from South America, Ursula Nuzzo. Ursula Nuzzo is exciting. Ursula.
This seems to have become my signature poem. It's called Look at Me, Do I Look Hyphenated? Can we please eliminate the hyphen? I am I, not a hyphenation. I love Sauerbraten, Königsberger Klopse, and Ludwig. I loved my Catholic father, the Berliner. I loved my Jewish mother, the Krefelderin. They loved each other enough to seek refuge in distant, exotic Colombia. They adapted to sweltering tropics, pesky mosquitoes, odd food, people who spoke in conundrums. There they birthed me. I learned to love the heat, sancochos, cumbias, baila, baila, to slash, stroke, and caress the ocean like a mermaid at Miramar. Habe Deutsch gesprochen with my parents. Aprendí a hablar español with the nuns and my friends. For educational enhancement, I was exported to the U.S., where I learned to love the Star-Spangled Banner, corn on the cob, and blue jeans, and yes, the English language. As hyphens would have it, I am a Deutsche Colombiana American of Catholic Jewish or Jewish Catholic beliefs. Now, if Neapolitan is the delicious blending of ice cream flavors, strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, no punctuation, why not discard the hyphen? Perhaps use the term amalgamation for a person who pulses to more than one culture. I am I, not a hyphenation.
Thank you very much, all the poets. Thank you for the readings you've been enjoying with us today. I say it's been a great program, great poetry. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate the audience.